Hello, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to today's Powerboost. The mind, we hear a lot about the mind in different ways, right? But many times when we think or speak about the mind, it's always connected with some difficulties, some problems. The mind is difficult to discipline. But actually, our mind is an amazing ability that we have. And saying this, or having said this also means that when it comes to my sense of self, I am not the mind. And the other good news is I am not what is in my mind. So the mind is an ability that we have, and as we know, with the mind, through the power of our thoughts, we can travel beyond space, beyond time. In less than a second, we can remember something from the past, and we can go very far back into the past. Right now, in this moment, I can transport myself anywhere into this world, or even beyond this physical universe, as we do when we have a spiritual practice, or one specific spiritual practice that we do here at the Brahma Kumaris. So and also, of course, mind can go into the future. But the most powerful and most useful the mind becomes when we are actually in the present moment. And the mind, like I said, is an ability, and one of the powerful abilities the mind has, or task that the mind carries out, is to create thoughts, generate thoughts. And in an ordinary way, for average human being, our thoughts are all connected to this physical dimension. And so the mind is a receptacle, is an inner subtle organ of the conscious being, through which we are able to connect and perceive the physical world through the sense organs of the body. So through the sense organs of the body, I see, feel, hear, taste, smell something, and it triggers thoughts, right? And so the mind is typically inundated, flooded with thoughts about people, what people do, what they should not do, how the world should be, about tasks, and so on and so forth. And all the emotions, all the feelings, which are typically one or another emotion, whether it's upsetness, any form of anger, sadness, but also it can be happiness and love in terms of pure feelings that emerge in the mind, that are felt through the mind. Images, if you're very visual, and typically, or for many, when we listen, we instantly create images in the mind. Yes, it does happen in the mind. And if you're too engrossed in the world around us, and if I'm not actually connected to my inner self and experience peace or feeling content, my mind can be very active, and we all experience that at times, right? The mind many times is just on its own, and sometimes even like it can be experienced like a wild horse. It goes here, there, it wanders, easily gets stuck in the past of what didn't go so well, or when there was a negative or unpleasant experience. An easy way to actually make the mind my best friend, an easy way to deal with the mind and actually use the power of the mind to benefit the self and benefit the world is connected with a deeper understanding of who we are. If I am not the mind, if I am not the body, so who am I? So that's when it comes to that understanding, at least from the perspective of the Brahma Kumaris, we understand that the self, there is a social, there's a physical identity, and then we have this amazing spiritual identity when it comes to a deeper question of who is that I that's saying I? Who am I? And that's where I connect to my innate goodness, and peace is one of my innate qualities. As the living being, as a conscious being of light, I am Om Shanti, a being of goodness. And I, the conscious being, I have a mind. And if I practice this a little bit, I can look at my mind. The mind has the ability to turn on at its own self, look at its own self. I can turn inward and look what is going on in the mind. And as long as I maintain the awareness of who I truly am, a very sweet, loving, kind, happy being, so I stabilize in my goodness. I am a being of peace. And I look at what is going on in the mind. I naturally become the observer, and I'm able to remain peaceful or even stabilize myself more in a peaceful state of being, while there are all sorts of thoughts showing up in the mind. So to become the observer, not only of what is happening at the physical level, but also what is going on in the mind. And if I practice that, the next step would be to give direction to my mind. What is it I want to think about? Where do I want to connect my mind with? What is it that I want to experience? Yeah. So I'll stop with the sharing at this point, and let us explore about this aspect of being an observer and making my mind, my best friend through a meditation. So sit comfortably and feel the support of the chair. Let the body relax. And I set an intention that for the next few moments, I choose to embark on a more subtle journey within. And for this, I give permission to myself, to my mind, to let go of the physical aspects in my life, all the thoughts that I connected with what happened, what will happen, with any task. I give permission to detach, to let go, to unplug. Different words to prepare myself to bring the attention of my focus on a more subtle dimension. Take a deep breath in and exhale, reminding the self that from the outside, I now turn within and connecting with the highest potential within myself. I create the pure thought of Om Shanti. I am a living conscious being. I'm a peaceful being. And I, the being, I'm aware of my own existence. Through this pure thoughts, I re-emerge the memory of my highest state of being when I was completely calm, peaceful, sweet, loving, kind, consistently happy. There's fulfillment, a deeper sense of contentment. I feel safe and secure within my own self. Now, I turn my thoughts, the third eye, towards my mind. I, the being, I have a mind. And I also have the power to choose. But in that inner state of peace, when I am peaceful, when there is inner harmony, my mind, my intellect, the heart of the soul are all in complete alignment. There's stillness, there's calmness, there's even silence, there's peace within my own being. And at times, when I have thoughts that disturb me, unhappy thoughts or feeling, it is as if my mind has gone its own way. And in this case, I simply remind myself that I am a peaceful being. I have a mind, and with a lot of love, but determination, I look at the mind. I come to see all the thoughts and feelings that emerge and cause potentially harm to myself. At the same time, I am aware of my higher potential. And so from the point of light, from that inner point of stillness, I become the observer of the thoughts and feelings that can potentially make me very unhappy. I see them, I acknowledge them, I let them be. There's no judgment, there's no good or bad, right or wrong. It is what it is. And I bring the attention back to that pure thought of being Om Shanti, a peaceful being of light, blissful, free. And through some practice, gradually the mind will more and more listen to the directions that I give it. I learn to become peaceful, stable, instead of engaging in troublesome thoughts or feelings. I simply accept what is, and I bring the focus of my attention back on that pure thought or awareness of Om Shanti.